So what happens when you can't reach the seller of a vehicle that you've purchased? This is Dave at cartitles.com. In some cases, clients will inquire about a vehicle they've purchased and that they did not get the correct documentation on, and now they can't reach the seller to correct that or get the right papers. In that case, it's usually a factor of the seller didn't have the right papers to give you in the first place. In most instances, when we eventually reach that seller or prior owner, they didn't have the right paperwork, and it's going to be too much trouble for them to go through to get it, especially since now the sale is completed. It's usually not the case that they become too busy or they're on vacation or they've moved. It's more likely that they didn't have the paperwork to begin with, so they are now not as interested in correcting that since the deal's already done. There are other methods to obtain a title other than going through the prior owner, as long as there's some proof of transfer. Do you have a bill of sale? Is there some receipt for the funds? Just showing that they had an intent to transfer you that vehicle. You're probably not going to be able to get that done directly through the DMV because they're going to need more documentation, but that's where a title recovery agent will come into play to help you get that paperwork created. If you're purchasing a vehicle, make sure that prior to your purchase, you don't exchange funds until you have all the right documentation in hand. And that documentation will include a bill of sale correctly executed with the with the date, the type of vehicle, the ID number, and a dollar amount of the transfer. It'll also include a full title transfer. It'll have the original printed document of title from the DMV showing the seller as the owner on the front of the title signed correctly, and make sure it's signed in the correct box or on the correct line. Even something as simple as putting a signature in the wrong box or crossing something out or whiting something out will in most cases void a title and make that piece of paper almost like it doesn't exist. So at that point, you don't have a title in your name, the prior owner doesn't have a good title anymore because that one is void, and the only person that can fix it is the prior owner. And in many cases, once they've received the payment for that vehicle, they're not as interested in following through on fixing it, especially when it involves DMV, because no one likes dealing with that anyways. If you have questions about recovering a title for a vehicle, you can reach us at our website at cartitles.com.